Okay, there's another method that you can use to install Joomla if you don't do it through the cPanel with the one-click install, and that is to go to joomla.org, click on download. From here you can download the manual installation on your computer and upload it. So you want to click on download Joomla 2.5, which I've already done so. Now if you notice, the latest version of Joomla is the 3.0, but I wouldn't recommend it nowadays. Generally recommend using that for your website. The most stable one right now is Joomla 2.5, which we use for our client websites and for our current website as well. So once you right click on it, you click on it to download it. Select where you want to download on your computer. I've already done so. It's right here. After you download it, you want to right click on it to extract all files, which I've done so as well. The files are here. And the next thing is you want to download an FTP client. There's a free one called FileZilla. So you go to FileZilla-project.org and you can download the version. So you click on download FileZilla, which I've done so, and you want to open up FileZilla. Once you open it up, at the very top corner, it's going to ask you for your host, your username, and your password. And the port, you don't have to worry about the port right now. So for the host, it's the website name, so it's going to be your website name .com, .org, .net, .biz, whatever it is. And for the username and the password. If you don't know what your username is, you can contact your web hosting company and they'll be more than happy to assist you with that. So once you put that information onto FileZilla, it's going to automatically load up your website. And from there, you want to go to public underscore HTML. Now you can create a directory where you want Joomla to be installing. If you want this to be on your main website, you don't have to worry about that. So you can just pretty much leave it as is. And but in this case I am using Joomla 1. Now for the last video I did, I used Joomla 2 for the cPanel installation, but for the manual one I have to use different names so it doesn't clash, get all type of errors on it. So once you've decided where you want Joomla to be, go on your computer where you've installed Joomla, the package that is. So I have it right here. I'm just going to, you can right click on it. You can right click on it. You can right click on it and you can drag it over. So in this case, I put it in the Joomla 1. You can drag it over in there and drop it in. But I'm not going to do that because I'm doing it right now. And if you notice at the bottom, you can see the files are loading. Qualified quizzes, 1,400 files and counting. So while this is loading and transferring on your server, you want to create a database for that. In order for the sites to show, in order for you to get this thing up and going, you need a database where all the information is going to be stored in there. So you want to go to MySQL database, click on it, and you want to create a database. You can pick anything, doesn't matter what it is. So for this, I'm just going to use Joomla 2, or rather, I can just use J2. Joomla 2. Create database. Okay, we can create it. Go back, scroll to the bottom, and create a user. So for the user, I'm just going to use the same thing, user. Now for the password, you want to create a password that you can certainly remember, but also something that is unique. So I'm going to create a password, and you have to make sure that both passwords match. If not, you're going to get the error that says passwords do not match. And later on, when we're connecting the database, it's not going to work. So create user. Okay, now you got to make sure you remember what that database is, which I'm going to change this later, but for now, this is what it is. So click on, you go back, Okay, this is a very important step. You want to make sure that you connect the database, the user to the database. So click on this user. Here it is, Joomla 2. We just created that one. Click on the database and find Joomla 2. And click on Add All Privileges. What this pretty much means is it's going to allow you to be able to use these permissions to load up the files in there, and I'll go into more details about this later. So click on, oh, another key thing is you want to make sure that you get these right here, the username and the password. So you want to copy that and you want to paste it, note pad or something. You're going to need this for later on, so you want to put in the password. That's the password that the temporary password that I'm using. So, and then you click on make changes. Okay, changes are done. Go back. It's very important that you store this information somewhere, because there's times when you have a problem or some type of issue when you have to go into what's called the configuration.php file to make some alterations and move some things and change some things. So you will need this information. It's very important. Now, if you lose it, there are ways that you can, be able to reset it. So make sure you keep that saved somewhere. If you want to save this notepad, you can just go ahead and save it. In this case, I'm going to click on File, Save As, and I'm just going to save it over on my computer. So just type in Joomla 2 password database, DB login, okay, and then click on Save. So that's been stored now on no valid name. All right. Okay, so that's been saved, and I can always, pull it up later in case something happens. So let's see how the transfers are going. Okay, now if you notice here at the bottom, there's about 700 and something files left to be completed. So I'm going to pause it, wait for that to finish, and I'll come back in a few seconds. Okay, the download is completed. You see all the files in there. Now, what I'm going to do is I have to open up where that particular folder is, and to do so, you go to your domain.com. Now, if you're using a directory of your domain, then you go to that directory slash administrator. In this case, is username is Joomla 2. So I am going to use this right there. That's where I'm going to have access to the back end, to be able to install everything. If I go there right now, Tamron.com Joomla 1, it's going to prompt me to install everything. So this is the page that you're supposed to get. So if you get this page, it's okay, don't worry about it. You're on the right track. And then click on next. All this stuff, don't worry about it. Click on next. You don't have to worry about all this stuff. Click on next. Okay, the database. Now, remember before I told you about you need that database. Um, you got to put that here. It's going to require that. So, so the database information that you did from before, what you want to do is you want to pull it up you want to open it, if you saved it on your computer, or if you know what it is from the notepad, you want to put that information right here. In my case, let me go back here, open, don't save, okay. Remember this information I told you that you need? What I'm doing is I'm just transferring this information, the username, put it right there, the database right there, and the password. So once you put that in there, where it says old database, an existing file can, be replaced with this installation, you can just leave that as, back up. And then you click on next. Okay, if you get this page, then everything is still working, correctly. This is what you're supposed to get. So all this stuff, don't worry about all this stuff right now. Just click on next. Okay. So now you're at the final stage, almost the final stage where you can put the site information in there. So for the site name, I'm just gonna put in Joomla 2. For the email, for the admin, you can create whatever admin that you wanted. So admin, I'm just gonna use admin. For the password being admin. And it's asking you for the sample data, a blog, brochure, the default. Just look at the default stuff, then you click install sample data. Now it's important that as a beginner you install the sample data, because if not, then it can really, it gets real confusing on where to get started. So install sample data. Sample data installed successfully. Great. So you click on next. Okay, this is the last phase. So you have remove installation folder. So click on remove, and installation folder successful. Okay. So you have two options right here. You have the site, or you have the administrator. What I normally do is you can click on anyone, doesn't matter, but just to make sure everything is working properly, you click. I normally go to the administrator so I can log in and check the sites back in from them. Okay. So the login, the username, and the password, this is not the same information as the database. It's not the same as this right here. So this is what you use when you were creating the username and the database for this site. So we use admin, username, admin, the password. So click on login. Again, if I don't remember that, I'm just going to click update. Okay, so this is what you have. This is what it's supposed to look like. Now, if you want to see what the front end looks like, you go to view site.